So, you've got just 48 hours in Ho Chi Minh City, and you're wondering if that's even enough time to experience this incredible Vietnamese metropolis. Well, I'm about to show you exactly how to pack 19 essential experiences into 2 action-packed days in one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic cities. From underground war tunnels to rooftop sky decks, from street food adventures to historic landmarks, we're going to maximize every single minute of your short stay. Trust me, by the end of this itinerary, you'll feel like you've lived in Saigon for weeks, not hours. Your first stop is Banh Mi Huynh Hoa, and you're standing in front of what locals call the most famous sandwich shop in all of Vietnam. There's already a massive line of people waiting at 6 a.m., which might make you wonder what's so special about this tiny storefront. Here's the thing that might throw you off. This place charges 3 times more than other banh mi shops around the city. You're probably thinking it's just tourist hype, but locals are the ones filling up most of this line. This family-run shop became legendary because they create something completely different from regular banh mi. Their signature sandwich weighs nearly a pound, and you literally need 2 hands to eat it without making a mess. They layer exactly 15 different ingredients into each sandwich, including their secret pâté recipe that no other shop has managed to copy. That first bite reveals exactly why people travel across the entire city just for this sandwich. You need your morning coffee, but in Ho Chi Minh City, coffee culture is completely different from what you know back home. Vietnamese coffee is served in a tiny cup with what looks like chocolate syrup at the bottom, and the brewing process takes forever using a strange metal contraption. Chio Leo Cafe represents authentic Vietnamese coffee culture, where people sit on tiny plastic stools and spend hours socializing over their drinks. The phin-filter brewing method involves hot water slowly dripping through coffee grounds in a metal cup with holes. Vietnamese coffee became so strong and sweet because the French brought coffee here in the 1800s. But locals added condensed milk since fresh milk was expensive and hard to find. That first sip of Café Ciudad delivers a caffeine punch that's 3 times stronger than your usual coffee, giving you the energy boost you need for the busy day ahead. With your energy levels maxed out, it's time to tackle some serious sightseeing. You're standing between the Notre Dame Cathedral and the Central Post Office, 2 massive French colonial buildings that seem completely out of place in the middle of a bustling Vietnamese city. These aren't just pretty buildings. They were built as symbols of colonial domination, using materials shipped thousands of miles from France to prove French superiority. Every red brick in the cathedral was imported from Marseille, and the neo-Romanesque structure was designed to tower over everything else in the city as a statement of power. The post office was built based on blueprints by Gustave Eiffel, the same architect who created the famous tower in Paris. Inside, you'll find Victorian-era wooden phone booths and historic maps covering the walls. Standing here, you're witnessing how colonial architecture has been reclaimed by modern Vietnam, with the post office still serving locals daily and the cathedral hosting Vietnamese Catholic services. The contrast between old and new becomes even more dramatic at your next destination. You're about to enter the Independence Palace, the exact building where the Vietnam War officially ended, and everything inside has been frozen in time since that historic moment. This isn't a museum recreation. These are the actual rooms, furniture, and decorations from April 30th, 1975, when North Vietnamese tanks crashed through the gates. You walk through the presidential offices, war rooms, and living quarters that house South Vietnam's leaders during the country's most turbulent period. The modernist architecture from the 1960s shows off large, airy rooms with period furniture still arranged exactly as it was left. Underground bunkers and communication centers create an eerie feeling as you see the 1960s decor preserved in basement tunnels that served as escape routes. Standing in the room where surrender was declared, you realize you're not just looking at history. You're standing inside the moment that changed an entire nation. You think you know about the Vietnam War from movies and documentaries, but nothing has prepared you for what you're about to see at the War Remnants Museum. The exhibits here don't sugarcoat anything. You're confronted with graphic photos, actual weapons, and displays that show the war's impact on civilians in ways Hollywood never showed. You navigate through displays of Agent Orange effects, including graphic shots of child victims that show the chemical's devastating impact across generations. The museum features prisoner torture devices like the infamous tiger cages used for Viet Cong prisoners, and a guillotine that represents the brutal realities of warfare. Photographs document the human cost of conflict from a Vietnamese perspective. Walking out of this museum, you understand that war isn't about heroes and villains. It's about real people whose lives were forever changed, giving you a deeper appreciation for peace. You're hungry from all that sightseeing, but instead of finding a tourist restaurant, you're heading to Com Tam, where locals eat and no one speaks English. The menu is completely in Vietnamese, you don't recognize most of the dishes, and you're not sure if you're supposed to sit down or order at the counter. You experience authentic Com Tam the way Vietnamese people actually eat it. Grilled pork chops get cooked over charcoal, giving them a smoky flavor. Your plate comes with broken rice, shredded pork skin, steamed egg, pickled vegetables, and fish sauce. Broken rice became a staple because Vietnamese people turned rice milling scraps into something delicious. Every bite shows you that the best Vietnamese food isn't in fancy restaurants. It's in neighborhood joints where recipes have been passed down through families for decades. With your energy restored, you're ready to explore Vietnamese spiritual culture. You're entering the Jade Emperor Pagoda, what looks like a scene from a fantasy movie, with incense smoke so thick you can barely see and statues that seem to watch your every move. This isn't a tourist attraction, it's an active place of worship where locals come to pray, and you're not sure what's appropriate behavior or what the various rituals mean. You explore intricate wood carvings and mysterious statues of Taoist and Buddhist deities throughout the main hall. The carved wooden boat hanging over the doorway adds to the mystical atmosphere. Stone unicorns guard the entrance, while dragon and phoenix sculptures represent power and wealth. This temple represents the blend of religious beliefs in Vietnam, where Buddhism, Taoism, and ancestor worship all coexist in one sacred space. Watching elderly Vietnamese women pray intensely while offering fruit to ancient statues, you witness spiritual devotion that has survived wars, political changes, and modernization. You're about to ride an elevator to the 81st floor of Landmark 81, Vietnam's tallest building. But the real shock isn't the height. It's how this skyscraper represents modern Vietnam's ambitions. As the elevator shoots upward at incredible speed, you realize this building didn't exist 5 years ago. And at 461 meters tall, it's taller than most buildings in major American cities. You take in the panoramic views that show Ho Chi Minh City's incredible urban sprawl, with motorbikes looking like ants and the Saigon River winding through the concrete jungle. The 360-degree views from the Skyview observation deck span across floors 79, 80, and 81, opened in April 2019. From this height, you see that Ho Chi Minh City isn't Most people think one skyscraper view is enough, but comparing perspectives from the Bitexco Financial Tower skydeck reveals secrets about the city that you'd never notice from ground level. From this angle, you can see urban planning patterns, traffic flow, and neighborhood divisions that tell the story of how the city actually works. You observe how the French Colonial district looks tiny compared to the sprawling modern developments, and how the Saigon River serves as the city's lifeline for transportation and commerce. You notice the contrast between the organized chaos of motorbike traffic creating flowing patterns through the streets and the geometric patterns of new construction projects spreading in every direction. This second aerial view confirms that Ho Chi Minh City is actually multiple cities in one, each with its own personality, all somehow functioning together in organized chaos. Time to come back down to earth and experience that organized chaos up close. The sun is setting and you're about to witness a daily transformation as Nguyen Huy Walking Street and Bac Dang Quay Park come alive with thousands of locals and tourists. This modern plaza sits on top of what used to be a canal, and the evening crowd includes everyone from business people to street performers to families with young children. You experience the nightly ritual of Vietnamese people gathering to socialize, exercise, dance, and people watch in this urban oasis surrounded by skyscrapers. Street performers set up their acts while food vendors sell snacks to families enjoying the cooler evening air. LED fountains create a light show against the backdrop of colonial and modern architecture. This gathering spot proves that despite rapid modernization, Vietnamese people still prioritize community and social connection over individual entertainment. The social energy continues as you head to one of the city's most unique coffee experiences. You're about to enter the cafe apartment at 42 Nguyen Hue Street. What looks like a rundown apartment building, but inside you'll find one of the most Instagram-famous coffee experiences in all of Southeast Asia. Each floor of this old building has been converted into a different cafe, and you have to choose between dozens of options while navigating narrow staircases packed with other coffee seekers. Vietnamese entrepreneurs transformed this deteriorating apartment block into a vertical coffee mall, with each cafe having its own theme and atmosphere. You discover rooftop terraces with city views, hidden speakeasies, and coffee shops that look like they belong in Tokyo or New York rather than Vietnam. The building's exterior keeps its rundown appearance, creating a striking contrast with the modern interiors inside.